The internet is buzzing with rumors about the Sony A7RVI. We're hearing whispers of a monster sensor, maybe 80 or even 100 megapixels. We're seeing claims of 8K video at a blistering 60 frames per second. It's a spec sheet that reads like a dream for any photographer or filmmaker. But here's the thing, it's just a dream. For now, at least. It's time to pull back the curtain on the hype. So, the story goes that the Sony A7RVI could have a sensor pushing 100 megapixels and shoot 8K 6OP video. But is that even realistic? We're about to expose the truth by pitting these incredible leaks against the real-world problems of the A7RVI, the problems that Sony doesn't exactly advertise. The issues that you, the people actually using these cameras, deal with every day. This isn't just about what's next. It's about whether what's next can actually fix what's broken. The hype, a spec sheet dream. Let's start with the dream, the spec sheet that has everyone talking. The headline feature, the one making all the noise, is a massive jump in resolution. We're not talking a small bump. The rumor mill is churning out numbers like 80, 90, or even 100 megapixels. Now, technically, Sony Semiconductor can probably make a sensor like that. The goal would be a huge leap in detail, something that would make the already impressive 61 megapixels of the A7RVI feel, well, a little last gen. Then there's the video side. The big rumor is 8000 at up to 60 frames per second. For context, the current A7RVI already shoots beautiful 8K, but it tops out at 24 frames per second. This would be a monumental jump, supposedly paired with goodies like 4K at 120 frames per second. To handle all that data, speculation points to a new Bion's XR processor, maybe even a dual AI processing unit to build on the dedicated AI chip in the A7RVI. The idea is that this new brain would drive an even smarter, stickier, and more intuitive autofocus system. And the list of unconfirmed leaks goes on. Whispers of up to 8.5 stops of in-body image stabilization, a huge leap that would be critical for steadying such a high-resolution sensor. The A7RVI already has a stunning 9.44 million EVF, and rumors suggest the A7RVI will keep or improve on that, running at 120 frames per second. Add in dual CFX type of card slots to handle the fire hose of data, and on paper, it sounds like the perfect camera, the ultimate hybrid. But paper doesn't tell the whole story. To figure out if the A7RVI is a revolution, we have to get real about its predecessor. The reality check confronting the A7RVI. This is where we get to the truth. Let's be clear, the Sony A7RVI is a fantastic camera. Its 61 megapixel sensor is a powerhouse, and its AI autofocus was a major step forward. But it's not perfect. And its flaws are the very things the A7RVI rumors claim to solve. The question is, can they? First, let's talk about the biggest headache for many hybrid shooters, rolling shutter. The A7RVI uses a standard CMOS sensor, not a stacked one, so it reads the image line by line. With 61 million pixels to get through, that process isn't instant. The result? That wobbly jello effect. Pan the camera quickly or film fast action, and vertical lines can skew and warp. In the A7RVI's 8K mode, the rolling shutter is significant, and it's noticeable in its oversampled 4K modes too. Some have called it pretty bad when you're moving the camera at all. This isn't some niche pixel peeping problem, it fundamentally limits how you can use the camera for video with any kind of motion. Next up, the 8K dilemma. Yes, the A7RVI has 8K on the box, but the reality is complicated. It only shoots 8K at 24 frames per second, and it does so with a crop of around 1.2x. That means your wide-angle lens suddenly feels a lot tighter. Then there's the heat. High-resolution video generates a ton of it, and the A7RVI's compact body struggles to get rid of it. While it's better than older models, overheating is a real factor. Some tests show it overheating in as little as 18 minutes, while others get an hour in a cool room. Performance varies wildly with temperature and settings, but for reliable, long-form 8K, it can be a gamble. And what about that workflow? Those massive 61 megapixel files and 8K video codecs create a traffic jam for your computer and your wallet. This brings us to memory cards. Sure, you can use standard SD cards in the A7RVI, but to truly unlock its performance, to clear the buffer after a burst or reliably record at the highest quality, you really need to pony up for the mo. pricier Cafexpress type of cards. They're not a luxury. For demanding work, they're a necessity. Finally, that brilliant autofocus. On many subjects, it's incredible. The way it locks onto people, animals, and vehicles is magic. But in the real world, it's not foolproof. Users report that it can still get confused, sometimes hunting for focus or grabbing the wrong subject in a busy scene. It's an amazing tool, but it's not quite the set it and forget it system marketing might have you believe. So, these are the realities of working with a high-resolution Sony camera today. The rolling shutter, the 8K limitations, the hidden costs, and the quirks of the AF system. Have you run into these issues with your A7RVI? What drives you crazy? Let me know down in the comments. This is the conversation we need to have. And if you're finding this kind of real-world analysis valuable, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We go beyond the spec sheets here, every single time. The verdict to hype versus engineering reality. Final act. Let's smash the A7RVI hype against the wall of engineering reality. Is the sequel a true revolution, or just a fantasy? Let's start with the sensor, that rumored 80 or 100 megapixel beast. More detail is great, but it creates a huge problem for speed. The whole challenge with rolling shutter is how fast you can read data off the sensor. A sensor with more pixels is almost always harder to read out quickly. So, unless Sony is about to drop a revolutionary and incredibly expensive stacked sensor in the A7RVI, a jump to 80 or 100 megapixels could actually make the rolling shutter worse, not better. This is the central conflict. For a pure photographer, a slower readout might be fine, but for a hybrid camera claiming elite video specs, that's a massive red flag. This directly affects that 8K 6OP dream. It's a killer headline, but think about the hurdles. You need a sensor that can read out 60 times a second without a massive crop. You need a processor that can handle that fire hose of data, which generates even more heat. And you need a cooling system, likely an active fan or a revolutionary new heat sink to keep the camera from melting. Without a major breakthrough in all three areas, 8K 6OP is unlikely in a camera of this class without serious compromises. We need to look past the headline and ask about the real-world recording limits, crop factors, and thermal performance. And that next-gen AI autofocus. A dual AI processor sounds cool, but will it fix the real problems? The issue with the A7RVI's AF isn't a lack of power, it's the edge cases, focus stickiness when something blocks your subject, low contrast scenes, and rapidly changing subjects. The real question isn't whether the A7RVI can recognize a new kind of bird, but whether it will nail focus on a bride's eye through her veil, every time. It's a challenge of refinement, not just raw power. So, what have we exposed here? Is the Sony A7RVI a lie? No. Not a lie, but it is a perfect example of the massive gap between a rumored spec sheet and a reliable, functional tool. The hype promises a camera that solves every problem, a high-res photo monster with the speed of a sports camera and the video chops of a cinema rig. The reality, though, is governed by physics and money. Sensor speed, processing power, and heat are in a constant battle. Improving one often hurts another. While rumors of an 80MP sensor and 8K 6OP video are exciting, they are just that, rumors. The real test won't be the announcement. It will be when we see if Sony has addressed the fundamental rolling shutter issue that plagues high-resolution sensors. It will be when we see if they've engineered a thermal solution that makes high frame rate 8K more than just a party trick. The A7RVI is poised to be an incredible camera, but it won't be magic. It will have its own set of compromises. The bottom line, the Sony A7RVI will likely be a stunning upgrade for photographers who demand the ultimate resolution. But for the hybrid shooter hoping for one camera to do it all perfectly, without compromise, that remains a fantasy. Sony keeps the A1 in its lineup for a reason. Beating physics isn't cheap. The A7RVI won't be an A1 killer. It will be the next evolution of their series, with all its incredible strengths and, most likely, a few of the same frustrating limitations. What do you think? Is an 80 megapixel A7RVI an instant buy, or are you waiting to see if they've solved these core problems? Let me know, and thanks for watching.